Hey guys, how's it going? Ghostly Rich here today, and today we are in the PG Performance Shop. I'm going to be working with Richard, who works here, which is also so happily named Richard, as you can see. And he's just gathering the parts right now, and I'm going to pop the hood, and I'm going to show you how they properly do a DSG change. Now, the reason why I'm going to be doing a fluid flush and stuff like that is my car, I bought it used, and I have no idea if it's been done before, so we might as well get her done. And as you can see, Rich is getting them ready. But yeah, I'm going to show you how it's properly done. And the reason why is there's a couple tutorials, but one of the things they don't tell you, which I can already tell you now, is when you do a fluid swap on a DSG, you're supposed to be doing it apparently when the transmission is bone cold. So you shouldn't be just, going for a drive for 100 kilometers, 200 kilometers, and then doing this. You want it when it's nice and cool. As you can see, the Wild Richard is currently filling up the DSG fluid inside the contraption we will be using to feed the fluid into the bottom of the transmission, which will make sense later on. The fluid that we're using is, as you can see, in German, but that's the fluid we're using. And so we'll do this, and then of course this is what they use in the factory. It takes a little bit longer, but when they found the newer tool, they switched to it because it's more efficient and gets the job done. Alright, so let's go over the difference between the pumps. They both screw onto the bottom of the DSG, as you can see, and that way you can pump it in. This one is the one that you would pump. That's the new style. This one is gravity fed. So what we're going to do, which you'll see, is screw it onto the bottom of the DSG. With this one, you'd have to use gravity to try and get the fluid to go from the bottle and in. And then you have to kind of hope that this is accurate with the fluid. With this one, you actually have a more accurate fluid reading, and you don't have to depend on gravity. You can put this on the floor or whatever, and you can actually pump the fluid in, and you can be more precise with how much you're going to add, which is a little bit better, as you can see. So, and as you can see, that looks more like professional. This, not so much. First stage of this whole thing is we're going to have to take out the battery. So if you have a car stereo and you have settings that you don't want to lose, I suggest you go into your car and record all your settings down. So that way you have all that. Or of course you can get one of the cigarette lighter 12 volt things. It has a 12 volt battery attached to a cigarette lighter. You plug it in and then it holds the memory. Again, I wouldn't depend on it. Still record your settings down. You never know. So all we're gonna do is, as you can see, this just pulls out and then pulls up. Or pulls in, or pushes in, that's right, because it's double lever. Ta-da! And then, right here, we're just gonna loosen off our battery posts with 10 mil. And then after the battery posts are off and gone, we can get at that right there, which is holding the lip in, which I'll show you afterwards. So as you can see, the funky chicken arm to grab that 13 mil that is right down there. Grab your plate and your bolt, and now we can lift our battery right out. We'll watch the mighty Richard do it. Boom!
Done.
Now, to get the tray out, is just bolt down here, I see. There's 3 bolts here?
Yep.
Perfect.
Yep.
So what we're going to do is we're going to be pulling off the front part of the intake here. So bolt here, right on the corner of the cage. If you've seen how I put this in, and you'll know. You can see that little piece of light right there. That's where one bolt is. And then we got another bolt right here. There it is. Take that one out. Then of course the one here, which I already told you about. And then there's one right here behind the wiring, which I can't show you, I believe. Oh, somewhere. We'll find it. Anyways, and then after that, if you want, we're gonna just be loosening just one off?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So we'll probably pull off this section just so we can remove it and it's out of the way for our filter. And then if you're looking at your intake, there'll be one bolt right here. After you get that out, it's all floppy donkey dick and it's out. And there's that last bolt that we were looking for.
This comes out too.
Oh yeah, and that just pulls out the bottom like so. And then lifts off, I believe.
Yeah, we can leave that one.
Actually, well, yeah, we're just going to take the bolt out. And then, again, there's 4 bolts that hold it in. So once you get all those bolts, which I've shown so far, we're just going to pull out our tray right here. This one might be tight around it,
It
but
is.
we'll work it out.
You gotta kind of
Wiggle it out.
wiggle that up a little bit.
There we go.
Pop it out. It took the whole thing with it.
Okay, perfect.
Eventually.
Just a little wiggle, and you'll get it out. Ta-da! We found our filter. It's right here under the battery tray. So we're gonna just get a 24 on there, and we're gonna loosen this off. And that way we can have access to our filter. Ta-da! Nice extension size. If I say so myself, Richard.
And it's not very tight.
No.
So bear that in mind. So what I would do, just loosen it, about yay much, and leave it for about 5-10 minutes. Because what's happening is the oil's filled all the way up to the top here. And once you crack the air seal, it'll drain back down into the tranny.
Perfect. And again, remember that torque you're using when you take it out, because when you go to put that back on, you don't want to be torquing that monkey down.
25.5 Newton meters, I believe, out of the factory.
Perfect. So if we look at Rich here, he's just going to be unscrewing. And you'll notice, ta-da, no fluid spill. We didn't need a napkin or anything. This is what your new filter looks like. And that one is obviously been nice and used. So again,
Wiggle it out.
wiggle, wiggle.
You pull too hard, you'll get fluid everywhere. Do this. Scoop underneath. No mess.
Pro. So at this point,
Now, if you want, you can always get like a turkey baster or something. It's kind of our little cheaty method here. I got brake fluid everywhere, and you can suck out whatever excess fluid's in here. If you want to do something like that, you don't have to, though. I mean,
it just means that you get more fresh fluid and less
Exactly.
old fluid.
so there's some old fluid that we're pulling out there, right? So it's pretty dark. This stuff is like apple juice when you put it in. And when we got some dirty old apple juice.
Well, yeah, take a look at how dark that is. And then, well, you didn't see us pouring it, but it was like some good old apple juice. Some AJ. Cool. That's good enough. And again, I've used a suction gun before for like power steering fluid pullouts. So you can either use turkey baster, which is
At
cheap.
the dollar store.
Yeah. Or you can use a suction gun, but turkey basters are better because suction guns, it's harder to clean out. So, all right, cool.
All right. So we'll grab the new filter.
Ta-da.
Pop it out of the bag.
If you
Don't
want-
worry about your hands being super duper dirty. I mean, this is obviously going to get full of dirt and crap fluid anyway. Just grab it. You'll feel there's a little nub that it sits on. Just give it a little twist just to make sure you're all the way down.
And don't forget to use your new gasket on your
New
filter.
gasket is very important, yeah.
Yes. Now, are you gonna fluid wipe around it kind of thingy? Yeah.
It's not 100% necessary, but
Okay.
we will. We will.
Cool. This is for me. So as you can see, he used a flat blade, just popped it off the rim right here.
Yep.
And make sure she sits back in the same location when you
Like this.
you're back on.
Like that.
That's awesome.
You can take a little bit from the inside and just wipe it around the outside. Just
There
like
you go. Protection. So that way you don't go in dry.
So if you look on the top of here, on some of them, it actually gives you the torque spec for putting it back on. Not this one though. I believe factory spec is 25.5 Newton meters, which is about 18 foot-pounds. It's not very much. So we'll get it on there, then we'll grab our torque wrench and we'll actually torque it on.
So as you can see, he's just torquing it up. Click, click. Noise.
That's it. It's not even very tight at all. So when you tighten it too much, what you do is you just distort the housing and you'll get fluid leaking out. So as long as you do it with the proper torque spec, it doesn't feel like much, but it is totally enough.
Yeah. Well, you'll know that also when you take it off. As you'll see, there's like no pressure, and that's after it's sitting there for like 60 to 80,000 kilometers. So don't ask me to convert that into miles, but yes.
Yeah. So it's definitely not much.
So now we're going to go in reverse. We're going to reinstall the battery tray, get everything done up here. You don't have to worry about anything now up here because it's all down below. So now it's time to lift your car. And as you can see here, this is the drain hole for your DSG. So we're going to be using our Allen key socket and we're going to loosen this off. So make sure you have something to catch it in, obviously, like so. And he's
14
just
mil Allen key.
14 mil?
Yep.
Perfect. on the breakable. But yeah.
So,
ta-da!
so you'll see, crack this off, right?
Keep your eyes at a safe distance, so.
So take this down. And you'll see it kind of comes out slowly. That's our overfill.
You might hear a farty noise.
Yep. And then take 8mm Allen socket, shove it up inside, and you'll feel there's a dipstick in there.
Yeah. Again, it's loose, so you can do it with your fingers.
That is not supposed to be tight. If it's tight, someone did it wrong. Pull that dipstick out, and then the bulk of the fluid drains out.
Look how dark that is. Ooh.
It is dark.
I was wondering about my, see, I bought the car used, right? So I didn't know the last time it was changed. And this is at 86,000. So if you're running at about 80,000 and you've never changed your DSG fluid, get on it. So as you can see, he's going to screw on that piece.
Yep, the adapter for our pump tool.
Yep, and then that's gonna go on and click on just like a compressor.
Yep.
Compressor. Yeah. There we go. Perfect.
And we're gonna pump in about 4.5 liters of oil.
So 4.5 liters are going up, and you can already see, like,
It's just, now it's empty.
Yeah.
There we go. Pump in 4.5 liters.
here we go.
Typically we would gravity feed this thing with the Volkswagen tool, but
Which is
that
that?
takes 4 hours.
Yeah. And again, if you have something like this, now what some people would do is, you know how we put everything back together on top? They would drain the fluid out here, as we've done, and then if you don't have one of these pumps, they would do a quart every 10 minutes on the top. Now, the problem with doing that is some people try to speed it up, and they'll use a compressor and they'll compress the bottle. The problem with putting a compressor inside a bottle of fluid is, one, it might make it bubble up. Second thing is, you're compressing that bottle, and if it somehow creates a vacuum seal, it's gonna blow up and you're gonna have transmission fluid all over you and like, you're basically making a grenade. So, if you want to do it the other way, that is up to you. Again, there's enough videos on it where you just, all you do is after you've done what we've done here, you put that little black thing that was in there super loose, our little dipstick, you just screw that back in, and then you drop the car, and then you fill it up with 4.5 liters. Again, this can take, like I said, close to an hour because it's got a gravity feed in from the top. And once it gets in there, then you're going to have to wish you could do it a lot faster. That's basically it.
And doing it from the top doesn't give you an accurate fill. That's the problem. You'll take out however much fluid you take out, but you don't know if that much fluid you've taken out of the transmission is how much fluid is supposed to be in that tram. Unless you were to put your 4.5 liters, 5 liters in with the cap on the bottom, fire up the car, and then take the cap off. I don't know if that's how they do it.
Yeah, that's exactly how they do it. They just do that, and then they pull the cap off after it heats up to 45 degrees. This is another reason why we want to do this when the transmission is cool, so that way it works a little better. So, at this point, we've pumped in our 4.5 liters, and
We're gonna fire up the car.
here we go. Moment of truth. Yeah. Okay.
Right? That's how we're gonna do it.
If you take a look, he's using an infrared thermometer on the transmission.
On the pan.
On the pan.
It's on the front.
Okay, so that's right by the plug there, or is there?
Yeah, you'll see the pan's right here. It's where the mechatronic hides.
Okay, perfect.
And then we're just gonna gun the tranny pan, and that's how we're gonna do this.
And we want to wait till it's 45?
You don't have to go that high.
Okay.
Your tranny was low.
It was low.
Yeah. There we go. You were low about 200 mil, 300 mil.
There we go. So it's a good thing I'm doing this.
Pull it off and let whatever dribbles out, dribble out.
Perfection. And this is the extra right here. So if you don't know what's going on, now your dipstick's in there. That's actually the filler piece that we screwed on, which is a fitting, the adapter. But inside there, we've already put the little black dipstick back in. Again, this is hand tight. Do not put any real big torque on it. You don't want to put torque on it. because it's a plastic piece and plastic strips very quickly.
And deform, and then you won't get an accurate fill.
Which is exactly what you don't want. So at this point, we're just going to keep reading this, and once we get to the temperature that is desired,
36 to 40 degrees-ish.
36 to 40 degrees. So as you can see, old gasket, new gasket, on fill plug. This you're going to put back in once you get to that, say, 40 degrees on the transmission. Now another thing is which we were just talking about, is if you are going to be doing it through the top filter hole, make sure you put in about 5 liters. It's going to leak a lot of that fluid out, but there's no way to do it accurately at 4.5, because as you've seen, mine was actually low, and there's no way to do that when you top feed it, so you have to overflow it, which is about 5 liters, and then you're just going to let it pour out like so. The other thing you got to have is a hoist. The reason why is if you're not level, if your car, all 4 corners are not lifted, you will not get an accurate reading, and it'll drain out more than it should. Again, the reason why I came to Rich and them here is because of the fact, 1, they've got a hoist, and 2, by the time I went to Volkswagen, it was going to be $330 for the fluid and the filter. Whereas here, what is it, Rich? Like $350 after labor?
Yeah.
Yeah, $350. So you pay $20 more to have someone else do it. I'll suffer and not eat McDonald's this afternoon to come and get Richard to do it. So Rich just flashed it. Said 37.4. Probably 38 now. He's gonna put in our plug. Yeah, and
This is what came out.
yeah. Again, when you change the transmission, you're only really getting just over half the fluid, just because there's still some that's within the tranny. So the best thing I can say to you is, if it's really dark, like way dark, if you wanted to, you could do a double flush in some kilometers later. I don't really want to give you an accurate reading. What would you think, Rich? I don't know.
Another 20-30,000 K.
Yeah. Perfect.
This isn't too bad though.
No.
I've seen much
That's
worse.
like maple syrup, and it's still smooth. It's not chunky. I don't see chunks in it. If we seen chunks, I'd be scared, but
Yeah, I'd say so, because the filter one.
yeah. So that's pretty much it. We're just gonna torque that up. What's the torque spec on it?
Arm tight.
Arm tight. There you go. That's what I always do. I grab the end of the wrench, and when you're a mechanic, you have the feel for it. But if you're not a mechanic, still just one-handed. Don't get on there and go dual-handed, and grab the center of the wrench, so up near the top, and tighten it like that. Don't grab it by the handle and start cranking it. But yeah, that's all you do. Again, you should know pretty well too from when you're tightening it up with your hand. But other than that, that's how to do the DSG flush. Now that we've done that, it's pretty much what we're gonna also do, and this is again why if you don't have VAGCOM, it's a really good idea to go into a shop like PG here, is we're gonna do, which is a video I've already done, a DSG adaptation. And then what that's gonna do is kind of reset the plates, and then you're gonna hear some crunching noises, some scary stuff in the shop, and that's basically it. Anyways, I hope you guys liked the video. Again, like I said, it's not too expensive to go into a shop like this. If you're in Surrey or something, you can always come see them. And right here, 33 foot-pounds of torque is what you need. And again, you've got Richard here. Richard, what's your YouTube channel?
Nameless Empire.
Nameless Empire. There you go. So if you're interested, check out his channel. He's mainly a gamer, but he might come out with some other videos. You never know, but be sure to give him a check out. Thanks again, Rich, and thanks again, guys, for watching today. Have a great day. First thing you'll probably notice is it'll be shifting smoother, and of course the last reason why I'm throwing this in at the end of the video is if you've never had your battery disconnected before, you're gonna get an ESP light that'll come on. Probably scare the heck out of you. You're like, why am I getting this? All you gotta do is get over 20 kilometers and it'll disappear.